So I gave you the example of the Mann-Whitney U-test, which is the non-parametric version of the two-sample t-test. But what about other tests? What other non-parametric tests are there? I'm going to mention just 3 of them, again, because they're the most common. The first one is called the sign test. Okay? What this one does is basically ask the question, is the average of one population equal to a given value? Okay? And so what that is pretty much the non-parametric alternative to a one sample t-test. And again, the idea is it looks it compares the ranks of the observations that are higher than the given value and the rank of the observations which are lower than the given value. Okay, actually gets a little bit simpler than that from the number crunching point of view. It's a fairly simple test, but again, it's non-parametric. All it does, it looks at ranks. Another common one is the Wilcoxon signed rank test. You may wonder about these strange names. Well, that's the curse of statistical tests. They get weird names, mostly from people, but sometimes with some additional things which are supposed to explain and clarify what the test does, but in many situations just scare people away. Don't be scared by them. They're just names. So the Wilcoxon signed rank test, what does it do? It asks the question, are two matched samples from populations with the same average? Okay, so as you can tell, here what we're doing is we're considering a non-parametric alternative to a paired or a matched t-test. Okay, so we're looking at matched samples from two populations, and we're using them to figure out if in fact the two populations have the same average. Or if you think of a match test as a before after, again we're asking, is there any change from the before to the after? This test looks at that one. Another test which is very common and with a strange name is the Kruskal-Wallis test. Okay, what does this do? It asks, are the averages of several given populations the same? Okay, does that ring a bell? Well, I hope it does, because of course this is the non-parametric alternative to ANOVA. In ANOVA, we're comparing several groups and asking, do they have the same mean? Here, we're also looking at several groups and we're asking, do they have the same average? But we're going to test that without a parametric assumptions. There are many other such tests. You may want to simply keep an eye for them and just look them up. In class, we're going to look at what can we do is when we're confronted with a test that we've never seen before. And probably by now you know that what you're going to have to do is just do a little bit of research on the RRSP.